Some of the sweetest things you say to your child are quietly breaking their confidence. Picture this. Your child runs up to you, eyes bright, holding that math test with a big red A at the top. "Look what I got!" And without thinking, you say those two words that feel so loving. "You're so smart." Fast forward 2 weeks. Same child, different math problem. This one's harder. They stare at it for 30 seconds, then push it away. "I can't do this. I'm not good at math." What just happened? Your child's inner critic just spoke, and it sounded exactly like your voice of encouragement. Here's what most loving parents don't realize. We have a script, 7 phrases we use because we care so deeply. "You're so smart." "Good job." "Be careful." "Stop crying, you're fine." "It's not a big deal." "You're such a good boy when you share." "I'll do it for you." Every single one comes from love. Every single one is trying to help. And every single one is accidentally teaching your child's developing brain the wrong lesson. The problem isn't that you're a bad parent. You're not broken. You were never taught a different script. You're using the same phrases your parents used because no one told you what these innocent words actually do to a child's nervous system. Your good intentions are creating the very struggles you're trying to prevent. But there is a different way to talk to your child, one that builds resilience instead of dependence, one that creates confidence instead of anxiety. We're going to examine 7 phrases that sound caring but secretly harm. For each one, I'll show you what you think you're saying, what your child's brain actually hears, and give you a simple upgrade you can use today. We'll cover the growth mindset research that explains why praising intelligence backfires, the nervous system science behind why "be careful" creates anxious children, the emotion coaching principles that turn meltdowns into connection. By the end, you'll have 7 new scripts, 7 ways to speak that actually build the confidence and resilience you want for your child. And here's what might surprise you most. Myth number 3 and myth number 7 are phrases almost every loving parent uses multiple times every day. Myth 1. You're so smart. The fixed mindset trap. Your child brings home that perfect test score. "You're so smart" feels natural. Here's what you think you're saying. "I believe in you. You're capable." But here's what your child's brain hears. "I'm only valuable when I'm smart. If this gets hard, I might not be smart anymore." Growth mindset research shows that praising intelligence teaches children their worth is tied to being right. Their brain creates a simple equation. Struggle equals not smart. Picture this. Your 6-year-old shows you their drawing. "You're so smart." 2 days later, they're working on a harder art project. It's not coming together easily. They crumple it up. "This is stupid. I'm not good at art." Your new script. You worked really hard on that. "I can see you didn't give up when it got tricky." When you praise process instead of person, your child thinks, "I can learn anything with effort," instead of "I am" or "I'm not smart." Now wait until you hear about the 2 words creating praise addicts. Myth 2. Good job, empty sugar rush. How many times did you say "good job" yesterday? 10? 20? Here's what you think you're saying. "I notice you. I'm proud." What your child's brain hears. "I need their approval to know if I did well. I can't trust my own judgment." Overusing generic praise creates extrinsic motivation dependence. Your child's internal reward system gets hijacked. This morning, child puts on shoes. Good job, eats cereal. Good job, picks up toy. Good job, and by lunch, they're checking your face before every action. Is this good? They learned to monitor your approval instead of their own feelings about accomplishments. Your new script, you tied both shoes by yourself. How do you feel about how that turned out? Describe what they did instead of evaluating it. They'll develop their own internal compass. Speaking of automatic phrases, this next one comes out when our anxiety takes over. Myth 3. Be careful, anxiety. Echo playground scene, your heart spikes. Be careful, be careful. What you think you're saying, I love you, I want you safe. What their nervous system hears, the world is dangerous, I should be afraid, I can't trust my body. Repeatedly sending fear signals teaches hypervigilance instead of confidence. Your 4-year-old climbs the rope ladder, focused and capable. They wobble slightly. Be careful, you call out, voice tight with worry. They immediately tense up, lose focus, start watching your face instead of paying attention to their balance. Your new script, keep one hand on the rail. What do you notice about your balance right now? Coach instead of warn. Your child develops body awareness and calculated risk-taking instead of chronic anxiety. But what about when they're already upset? Myth 4. Stop crying, calm down, you're fine, emotion shut down. Your child is crying over something small. You're tired, maybe embarrassed. Stop crying, you're fine. What you think you're saying, you're safe, you don't need to be upset. What their emotional brain hears, my feelings are wrong, I need to hide feelings to be acceptable. Children need co-regulation before self-regulation. When we shut down emotions, we're asking them to do something their brain cannot do yet. Child falls off bike, scrapes knee, cries. You're fine, stop crying, it's just a scratch. They stop crying but disconnect from pain signals. Years later, they have trouble knowing when they're hurt or scared. Your new script, that really hurt. Your body is telling you something important. You're scared, and that makes sense. Validate emotions while helping them regulate. Your child develops emotional intelligence and learns to trust their body's signals. This next phrase actually teaches them not to trust themselves. Myth 5. It's not a big deal. Trust eroder. Your child is upset about something seemingly small. It's not a big deal. What you think you're saying, don't worry, keep things in perspective. What their brain hears, my feelings don't matter, I'm overreacting. A child's brain cannot yet put things in adult perspective. What feels huge is huge in their reality. Your 7-year-old builds an elaborate Lego creation for 30 minutes. Little brother knocks it over. Tears. It's not a big deal, just build another one. Your child learns their effort doesn't matter. They start keeping problems to themselves because their judgment about what matters is always wrong. Your new script, this is a big deal to you, and I can see why. Your feelings make sense. Validate that something can be big for them, even if it's small for you. This next one sounds so loving but might be the most harmful. Myth 6. You're such a good boy, girl when you... Conditional love script. You're such a good girl when you share. This feels natural. What you think you're saying. I'm proud of your behavior. What their developing self hears. I'm only good when I perform correctly. Love depends on behavior. Tying goodness to behavior teaches conditional worth. Good behavior equals good person, so bad behavior must equal bad person. 5-year-old shares snack. You're such a good girl when you share. Later, they don't want to share their special toy. Normal boundary setting, but now they're confused. If sharing makes them good, does not sharing make them bad? This child learns to hide authentic wants and becomes a chronic people pleaser. Your new script, I love you always, and I really liked how you shared. You're a good person. Separate the child from behavior. Their worth is never up for negotiation. Finally, this last one steals something precious. Myth 7. I'll do it for you. Learned helplessness. Shortcut. Child struggling with zipper. 30 seconds. You're late. I'll do it for you. What you think you're saying, I love you, you don't need to struggle. What their capability sense hears, I can't handle hard things. Someone needs to rescue me. Consistently rescuing children from struggle robs them of self-efficacy, the belief they can handle challenges. Child working on shoe tying, tongue poking out in concentration, taking forever. Here, I'll do it. Over time, they stop trying difficult things. I can't. And wait for rescue. Your new script. This is tricky. I'll help you start, then you try. Struggling means your brain is growing. Support instead of rescue. Your child develops, I can do hard things. Identity. Picture this happening in your home over the next few weeks. Short term, you'll notice something beautiful. Less regret after those parenting moments. Your child starts asking for help instead of melting down when things get difficult. You catch yourself before the old phrases come out, and you feel proud of the conscious choice to try something different. Within a month or two, the changes become unmistakable. Your child says things like, "This is hard, but I'll keep trying." They come to you with feelings instead of hiding them. They take healthy risks, explore confidently, because their nervous system feels safe to learn. But here's the long-term vision that should make your heart skip a beat. Years from now, when your child faces real challenges, failed tests, friendship drama, job rejections, heartbreak, the voice they hear in their head won't be critical. It won't say, "You're not smart enough," or "You can't handle this," or "Hide your feelings." Instead, they'll hear your voice at its most loving. "This is hard, and you can do hard things. Your feelings make sense. You are worthy exactly as you are." Picture this specific scene. It's 10 years from now. Your teenager's art project didn't turn out the way they hoped. Instead of falling apart or giving up, they come to your kitchen and say, "I'm really disappointed about how this turned out, but I think I know what to try differently next time." That's what happens when we change our scripts. We don't just change our children's behavior, we change their inner voice. We become the cycle breaker in our family tree. The parent who gave their child the inner voice they wished they'd had. Now, I know some of you are thinking, this sounds like a lot of mental energy when I'm already exhausted. I get it. You're running on empty most days. The last thing you need is another thing to think about while you're trying to get everyone fed, dressed, and out the door. Here's the truth. This isn't about perfect parenting. It's about swapping one automatic phrase for another. Same number of words, different script. Start with just one phrase this week. When you catch yourself saying "good job," pause and say what they actually did instead. That's it. Maybe you're thinking, "My child is too sensitive for this approach. They cry about everything already." I understand. Highly sensitive children can feel overwhelming. But here's what the research shows. Sensitive children need this approach most. They're already picking up on every emotional nuance anyway. When you validate their feelings and teach co-regulation, you're giving them the tools to handle those big emotions instead of being overwhelmed by them. And some of you are worried this sounds too soft. I don't want to raise a child who falls apart at the first real-world obstacle. You want to raise someone who can handle difficult situations and disappointments. I completely understand that fear. But here's the key distinction. Emotional coaching isn't permissive parenting. You're still setting boundaries. You're still teaching responsibility. You're just helping them build the emotional muscle to handle those boundaries. Try this. I can see you're angry about this rule. The rule still stands, and your feelings make sense. Strength comes from feeling understood, not from being shut down. Here's what I want you to do this week. Pick one phrase to delete and one new sentence to try. That's it. One old script out, one new script in. Maybe you're ready to break up with "you're so smart" and try "you worked really hard on that." Maybe you want to swap "good job" for describing what you actually see them doing. Whatever you choose, start small. Your child's brain will notice the difference immediately. Tell me in the comments, which phrase are you breaking up with first? I read every single comment, and I love hearing about the changes you're seeing in your children when you try these new scripts. Remember that scene from the beginning? Your child showing you their drawing? Now imagine responding with, "You worked so hard on this. Tell me about this part here." Watch their face light up differently. That's the difference between praise and connection. Your child's inner voice is learning to speak right now. Every phrase you choose becomes part of the conversation they'll have with themselves for the rest of their lives. Let it sound like the way you wish you had been spoken to. Next week, we're flipping this completely. I'm sharing the 7 most powerful things you can start saying instead. Phrases that build unshakable confidence and create the secure attachment your child will carry forever. Your words become their inner voice. Make it a voice they'll thank you for later.